Good afternoon and welcome to another exciting biology class with myself, Miss Dakin. Now today, I'm taking a little bit of a different approach to teaching you content. The reason I am doing so is because this exact way that I'm presenting it, a videocast, is what your next assignment to me is going to be, proving that you can use this technology and that you know the content that we are learning. Now, the content that we are learning today is an introduction to DNA. So it is just the baseline information that we are going to progress on top of throughout this course, this unit, which can maybe build a foundation for your university career or even actual career in the future. So before I go into this lesson, I'll just say that we will go into the details of this assignment when I am done with the content of the lesson. Without further ado, let's get right into the content. So, Introduction to DNA. Today we are going to learn the basic structure and function. Nucleus and chromosomes is where we're going to start. You may have learned these terms in the past. You probably just brushed the surface. Today we're going to go a little bit deeper, mostly review, but again, it's going to set a great foundation for the basis, the rest of the unit. So the nucleus is the command center of the cell. Everything that happens in a cell is controlled by the nucleus. Something that I like to compare it to is a city hall. City hall has all the information about the city. It's got maps, it's got people, it's got places to go. If you need a permit, you're going to go to City Hall. So it has control over everything that's happening within the city as the nucleus does in the cell. Most cells have one nucleus, which contains thin fibers called chromatin that coil up to become chromosomes. The nucleus has two membranes surrounding it that allow passage of certain materials. So this separates the contents of the nucleus and the cytoplasm. You may be familiar from past science courses that in the cytoplasm you have other organelles such as the mitochondria. This membrane separates all those from the nucleus. The nucleolus is found inside the nucleus. Cells may have one or two nuclei, which contains ribonucleic acid, more commonly known as just RNA, that assemble ribosomes to make proteins. So inside the nucleolus is the place where specific instructions are produced for the cell to carry out. Now here on the right we have an electron micrograph image of nucleus and nucleolus. So right around the edge here is that membrane separating what we have in the gray area here, other organelles, and this, which you may have guessed, is the entire nucleus. In the middle here, we have the nucleolus. Now this white stuff around the outside is the fine chromatin threads. You can't see it very well here, but if you were to zoom in on it, it would look like a whole bunch of coiled up spaghetti noodles. So hopefully that paints a nice picture in your head of what that looks like. Moving on to chromosomes. Chromosomes contain long, thin threads of DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid. So the picture over here, we have a cell and we have the nucleus. Now you can see these darker spots inside, and when you zoom in on those, you're going to get this picture of a chromosome. And if you zoom in on the chromosome, you are going to get long, coiled DNA. Deoxyribonucleic acid. Now this is found inside the nucleus, outside the nucleolus. So like that last picture, the spaghetti noodles. The number of chromosomes vary from one organism to another. Us humans, we have 46. Your dogs have 78. Cats have 38. Now something to note just to the side, the size of the organism has nothing to do with the number of chromosomes it has. Chromatids. A chromatid is a single strand of coiled DNA. During cell division, the The chromatid makes an exact copy, forming a chromosome joined by a centromere. So if we shift our attention to this picture here, this here down to here is a chromatid. During cell division, it produces this guy right here, up here, an exact copy that needs to be held together, and this is the centromere, which holds it together. Chromosomes and genes. As I said, a human's full set of chromosomes is 46. Half the chromosomes come from the mother and half come from the father, and each contribute equally. So each of you here in front of me, including myself behind the computer here, 50% my father, 50% my mother. The 23 pairs from each parent match, making a complete set. So 23 plus 23 is 46. Genes are carried by chromosomes and carry the chemical information that determines what we look like, or what a trait looks like specifically. Genes are inherited from our parents and determine characteristics or features we may have. Most of us can probably look in the mirror and then look back at our parents and say, yeah, I have my mom's eyes, or yeah, I have my dad's hair color. Those are the exact things and information that chromosomes carry. Genes. Some genes are dominant, show up more often. Some genes are recessive and remain hidden and may skip generations. So to illustrate that, here at the bottom, we have two parents. We got a dad, we got a mom. Dad has brown eyes, which is a dominant gene. Mom has blue eyes, which is a recessive gene. So you're going to take one chromosome from dad, one from mom. You're going to get a child that has brown eyes because brown is dominant. Now, blue is still there, but it's hidden because brown dominates blue. Anyways, we're going to go into that later in the unit, but I just thought I would plant that seed. This is a great picture of a DNA model, which we have actually a few of these throughout the class that really zoom in and enlarge what a DNA molecule looks like, what it is made out of, all of its components. We're going to look a little bit further into that. So DNA, like I said, deoxyribonucleic acid is found in chromosomes and made of genes. It is a double helix shape or a spiral staircase. Lots of people like to refer to it also as a twisted ladder. So if you're holding a little mini ladder in your hands, just pretend you are, and you twist it from each end, it curls and twists nicely to a twisted ladder or a spiral staircase shape. DNA carries genes as nucleotides on the rungs or steps of the DNA ladder. DNA is composed of sides to the ladder and rungs. A. The sides have phosphate and deoxyribose sugar molecules, and B. The rungs have bases of nucleic acids. The DNA rungs, or the steps on the ladder. DNA rungs are made of two kinds of nucleic acids called purines and pyrimidines. One of each joins, forming a rung of the DNA ladder. So if you can picture in your head, coming out from the sides of the ladder, so the sugar and the phosphate, we have one half coming from one side and another half coming from the other side that join to make a rung. One side is a purine, one side is a pyrimidine. The purine side is either going to be adenine or guanine. The pyrimidine side is going to be cytosine or thymine. The opposite nucleic acids match and fit together like a lock and key. So, in saying that, only certain ones go together. Adenine always goes with thymine. Guanine always goes with cytosine. Something that helped me remember this as a student was that G and C look very similar. So G always goes with C and A always goes with T. Now, This is moving a little bit ahead into tomorrow, but just to kind of get you inquiring and thinking a little bit further about this. This is an activity we're going to do tomorrow. We have licorice, toothpicks, 4 different colors of marshmallows. We're going to build our own models of DNA and label them. I'm not going to tell you how we're going to do it. I'm going to let you think about it so that you can come to class tomorrow prepared for this activity. Thank you so much for paying attention to this videocast. I hope you learned something on how you are going to present yours. I also hope you have really paid close attention and made notes on your handouts that I gave you of the content. I'm going to explain now what I expect of you in your assignment. We're going to go through the outline, and I'm also going to give an example and an overview of the online programs you can use, including Google Slides, PowerPoint, as you all know, that's the one I used here. You can also use Prezi. We're going to go through the different tools you can use to make this videocast. Screencast-O-Matic, you can use Jing, there's many other ones. So we're just going to go through that. And again, thanks for listening.